Hello there, I'm JT here at Unpopular Opinion, and trying to see about this new journey with YouTube. Everybody seems to be making channels and having something to talk about, and you know how the whole cancel culture is, that everybody's opinion is everything to them. So I figured I'd give it a try and see what comes of it. You know, try the whole monetization route, hopefully. Um, and I figured I'd start making videos and show the whole trip, the whole guide, slowly from the beginning. Is it possible for somebody that knows nothing about technology, very little about YouTube and all this other stuff, to make a channel and get to the monetization point with bare basic knowledge and just doing it all on their own? So I'm gonna go through, post videos every step of the way. This is just my introductory video. I figured I would just do a brief rundown of what I plan on doing here at the channel. Eventually, I'm planning on doing a little bit of talks about mental health, about addiction, recovery. I myself, I'm a recovering addict. I'm coming up on 10 years. And I have a lot of life experience, a lot of lessons that I can learn, and I figured if I could make some videos that'll reach somebody out there and possibly help somebody else through a rough situation that I really struggled with, then, then that's what I really want to do. I worked in the recovery field for a little while trying to help people, and it just wasn't my thing, sitting behind a desk all the time and staring at a computer screen. I mean, hey, this is pretty much the same as far as sitting here staring at a computer screen, but I can reach a lot more people this way if things take off, and that's what I want to do. Plus, I don't have to follow strict guidelines as far as do what they say and say what they say. Here I can talk to anybody about anything and give them my honest opinions, and that's why the channel name is Unpopular Opinions, because I don't tend to go with the flow of things. I spit it out how I feel it is, and if people don't like it, they don't like it. So most people, you're either going to love me or you're going to absolutely hate me. And that's just how it is. I think society's gotten soft. I think parenting is a dying art. But like I said, I think I have a lot of experience. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. I've been to jail. I've been, living on practically living out of my car. Doing anything for that next high. I've had a lot of issues, ups and downs with mental health. Currently going through a situation trying to get something figured out in that area, which I'll discuss later. But so I figured, why not make this journey something that I'll learn and share with others. And I'm not gonna make a lot of editing at the beginning. I'm just going to do it raw and show people how it is. I see all these videos of people saying it's super hard to make these videos, and you got so much editing to do, and you got to edit out all the bloopers and mistakes, and I mean, in my opinion, everyone's going to make mistakes, and that's part of the journey, so I'm just going to post these raw, real videos, and as my channel grows, like I said, I'm going to try to be as engaging with my audience as possible. We'll put up polls as far as, hey, what topics do people that are watching me want to talk about? What questions do they have? What are they, do they want to know my opinion on a certain topic? What's their opinion on a certain topic? And going to go over a lot of stuff, like I said, as far as my knowledge from life experience, research I've done, mistakes I've made. Talking about, again, addiction, recovery, just life in general, mental health, and see where it goes. I used to be a die-hard gamer, and I see all these gaming channels blowing up, and I play some games, so I was thinking, I'll make a gaming channel and try that out, but I don't know. I just don't feel like that's what I want to do or need to do. So I'm going to go ahead and run with this idea of just trying to talk to people and let people know, my opinions, facts, problems, and like I said, anything that I possibly can that might reach somebody, that might touch them. Somebody might be able to watch one of my videos and say, oh, hey, I went through that, or hey, I'm dealing with that right now. I was going to do this, and hey, if that's a mistake I already made, and you can learn from my mistake, then that's what I want to do. Like I said, I care about people, which, even though I'm a very, very solitude person, I go to work, I work on a farm, I come home, and I pretty much just hang out around the house by myself, or with my girl. I don't really talk to a lot of people just because, I don't know, society makes me uncomfortable. I have very, very different beliefs than what most people do and the norm these days. And I'm not saying people aren't entitled to their own thoughts and their own feelings. Absolutely everybody is. And I am not going to offer medical advice. I'm not a doctor. Like I said, I am just going to offer opinions and life experience, because as we go through life and as we get older, we make a lot of mistakes. We learn a lot of things, and we're like, hey, dang, if only I would have known this 20 years ago. And like I said, parenting is a dying art. I see so many young people nowadays where their parents are in prison or their parents are dead. And they just don't have anybody to teach them from those mistakes and all that other stuff, So I figured, hey, if I can offer some advice to some younger person or an older person, who knows? Maybe I've been through something they haven't. Anybody out there at all that I can possibly reach, that's what I'm going to do. So at the beginning, I might post a few videos as far as, how to make a YouTube channel, settings, stuff like that, which a million other YouTubers already have that stuff. I'm watching those videos to learn to do my stuff, But then I'm going to start getting more into the real stuff as far as, topics of, ADHD, bipolar, depression, just life experience, addiction. Like I said, I was a heroin addict and a heroin dealer at my worst, just to provide for my own habit. So I know the struggles and the things that we go through, and it's terrible. Nobody wants to live that way. I was lucky and I got out of it in one piece. I paid the price and got in some trouble and royally messed my life up and all my relationships, and I had to work very, very hard to get where I am. And I'm comfortable where I am. Like I said, I go to work every day and I come home. I have a house now. I have everything I need to get by. I'm okay. But it's just not what I want to do, who wants to wake up and go to work and answer to somebody else every day? So if I can make this channel and get to the monetization point, great. Then I'll keep working at it and make it better. As you can tell, the quality as far as the video and everything aren't the greatest. I'm making this stuff on my cell phone right now. Like I said, I don't know anything about technology. But if the channel starts to grow, I'll change all that. I'll start getting, an office set up a little bit better and start buying more things to professionally make these videos, so to speak, and we'll go from there. But hey, I'm looking forward to this journey, and hopefully it works out and I'll get to meet and experience what is out there as far as the YouTube world goes. I've heard a lot of people say they make a lot of new friendships and meet people, and just nothing but good stuff. And that's, like I said, that's something that I'm very interested in as far as that, and having the opportunity to possibly make a difference in somebody's life. And yeah, I think that's really about it. I'm not going to edit this video. That way, if anyone wants to start following along, you can see the journey from the beginning and this to, how things change as far as the quality and things that I may do differently in the future. Because I want to encourage other people that are at the point where I am, where they're like, oh, well, what do I know about making YouTube videos? None of us do. You just do it, and you're either going to be liked or hated, like I said. I mean, at least that's the way I think about it and the way I feel. So, I'm going to go ahead and post videos and start trying to do, at the beginning, I'm going to try doing maybe 1, 2 a week. I don't know. I've been putting this off for a while. I've been thinking about it for a while. And I thought, it's time to just do it, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it works out and I can reach people and meet new people and, hear other stories, and maybe I'll be able to help some other people make a channel and do what they want to do. Or maybe it'll just be a hobby and everyone will hate me and I'll have 5 followers. Who really knows, That's the thing with life. You never know where it's gonna take you, I never thought that I was gonna experience half the things I did. So I'll give you a little rundown on me real quick. I have been through a lot, like I said. I'm 35 years old currently. I have been through more jobs than I care to even try to count. I was in the military for a short while. I was married at 18. I got a girl pregnant at 16. So my daughter just turned 18 years old. After I got out of the military, I had no clue what I wanted to do, because all my life, all I wanted to do was military, and that didn't work out. So I didn't know what to do. So I started working and partying, and I'd have one job and another one would offer me a quarter an hour more, and I was like, oh, more money, gone. But that works out, and you climb up the ladder and get to a super high salary, and then something happens, that company shuts down or whatever, you lose that job, and then you're right back where you started, And I've been through that. And then I went through deep depression, started drinking, and friends kept offering me pills and weed and stuff, and I was like, oh, no, can't do that, And eventually I did, and then before I knew it, I was off to the races, doing any drug and every drug I could get my hands on, and just doing stupid stuff. Just horrible things. And I mean, anybody that's been down that road, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It becomes, where am I going to get the money for my next fix? And as soon as you get that fix, your next thought is, okay, I'm good now, but I need to get the next one, because you don't want to get sick. For those of you that don't know what it's like, I don't know if you've ever had the neurovirus, but if you've ever had the neurovirus, that's pretty much what withdrawal is like, almost to a T. Just withdrawal's a little bit worse. But yeah, so like I said, things like that. I've been through all that, and after dealing with that life for a while, I finally got to the point where I wanted to make a change in my life, start trying to be a better person, get away from the drugs, and I managed to do that. And now I've just been trying to get everything back together, become a normal contributing member to society. And anybody that knows anything about the system, if you've been in trouble, you know that they do not make it easy for you. If anything, they make it almost impossible, and so many people fall back into the life of crime just because that's the way the system's rigged, basically. They take your license, they make you go to all these appointments, you got to show up with your PO, you can't drive, you don't have a job, no one wants to hire you because you got a criminal background. You got to pay all these fines and go to all these classes, so even if you do get a job, you have to call off, or they have to work around your schedule because you got all this stuff to do. It's not realistic to maintain a full-time job and pay your bills and do everything you have to do and still try to deal with everything with the courts and your probation and everything. And I get it. Hey, we screwed up. We put ourselves in that position. But if you want people to do better and get a normal life going again, making it harder for them to do that is not the way to go. You're going to back them into a corner, and they're going to say, what am I doing this for? A lot of them. Not everybody. You will have those ones that, like myself, that managed to push through. But I also had a support system of people to help me. A lot of people don't have that. If I didn't have people to help drive me and get me to work and make sure that I was everywhere I needed to be and I had a roof over my head, I wouldn't have made it. I would have had no choice but to go back to what I knew to make money. So I get it. Anyway, like I said, that was about it. As far as that stuff goes, I'll talk more in depth about that later. But for now, I went through all of that stuff, got my life turned around, finally got a steady job I've been at for over 5 years now, working on a horse farm, and I like it. I love it, really. It's nice and peaceful. Go out in the fields and help feed the horses and, shovel poop and mow grass. I don't deal with people a lot. I spend most of my days by myself or out in the field or, with animals. I enjoy that. It's peaceful, it's quiet. But at the end of the day, I still answer to somebody else, and I'm not helping people like I really enjoy. So I figured I'd give this a shot and see what happens. So I've been rambling on long enough. If you're still with me, thanks. You know the routine. What do they all say? Like and subscribe. That would be great. But stay tuned. Either way, I have some good plans and some interesting ideas. So I'm going to try things a little differently than what I've seen most other YouTubers do. And again, anybody that has made it this far, if you've seen, if you've been through that and you have any questions, even though I haven't posted any videos talking about anything yet, if you want to get opinions on anything right off the bat, hey, feel free to drop a comment below or shoot me an email and we'll go from there. Thanks.